host gluten-free dinners at my place, people tend to ask, what are your favorite gluten-free flours? And then the other day I had a subscriber ask the same thing. So what a brilliant idea for a video, thank you. Today we're going to go over gluten-free flours. Let's check out my pantry. So we can think about gluten-free flours in three ways. One is something that is more of a neutral flour. Two is something that gives it a little bit of girth and a little bit more flavor. And three is something that binds. And let's start with the neutral flours. The most notable one, because it's the cheapest, is rice flour. I tend to like brown rice flour because its glycemic index is a lot lower and it's the whole grain, so it's not a refined carbohydrate. So this in French is farine de riz complet, and that means complete or brown rice flour. You can also get white rice flour. Another neutral flour would be buckwheat flour. Teff flour is a little bit harder to find. It comes from Ethiopia originally, and it's great because it's also more of a complete grain. It's actually rather high in protein. Now, here's when we come to flours that are more meaty. Millet flour. It resembles corn flour. This is a brown millet flour. If you can find it, it's great because it is the whole grain, and it's a lot healthier for you because once again it has the husk, so it has the fiber in there. It's rich in different minerals. It's also very low on the glycemic index. Other flours that fall into this category are coconut flour, almond flour if you can have it, cornmeal, and quinoa flour. Oh, and I forgot sorghum flour. None of these you really want to use by themselves because they'll tend to crumble. Next thing are flours that bind. These would be starches. This is where you run into problems when you're buying store-bought gluten-free products. If you look at the first label on the ingredients list, generally it's like potato starch or corn starch or something like that. Starch isn't exactly the best thing for you. It just is a safe way to make things bind. You also have things like agar, which isn't really a flour, but it's a powder that is a binding agent, and even baking powder is a starch, and it helps bind things. Other flours that I don't really even have in my kitchen, but that are useful in gluten-free baking, are tapioca flour and arrowroot flour. So for me, when I'm baking gluten-free pastries, I tend to use either 1/2 to 3/4 of the neutral flour, either 1/4 to 1/3 of the hearty flour, and then just something to bind it. So whether it's a pinch of agar or a little bit of starch, like a 1/4 cup. It's a lot healthier, and it also doesn't taste so empty, because starches are kind of empty. You want something that has some flavor to it. Another question is, do I have just a gluten-free all-purpose flour substitute? No, because every recipe is different. When I'm making cookies, I might want a little bit more of teff or sorghum flour because they're sweeter. When I'm making bread, I don't want as much as that unless I'm making like a honey-flavored bread. So for me, I just know that I like to use a certain percentage of neutral flour, add a little bit of the hearty flour, and then make sure that it sticks together with something that binds. And that's all there is to it. So I have plenty of recipes you can check out on bubblechild.com, or here I have a few desserts on YouTube as well. So you can see kind of examples, but gluten-free baking is pretty new, so you've just got to try your own thing, and you'll discover what works for you.